Hi there, and welcome back to Inktober Tangles 2025. I'm Martha, a CZT, and today I'll be leading you through day 21's Tangle, which is called Butria. As always, I'll be doing two tangles. One will start out very simple and basic, and then we'll move on to a second tile, which is a little bit more elaborate. So I'm starting here on a bijou tile with a graphite pencil and drawing the letter V. I'm next going to turn my tile and draw a line from one side of the V to the other. I'm using a Pigma Micron pen in black and the size is 01. I'm adding a little orb or dot in the middle of that line and then drawing two curves up to the top of the V. Coming back down to that central dot, I'm now going to draw two curves down to the bottom of the V. So it kind of creates this seed shape. And now going back to that dot, drawing two curved lines to the right and then two curved lines to the left. Next, I'm going to add some little tiny curves to each of these lines. And you're going to start to see kind of like a wing appear. So I'm going to do all of the right side. And when I get to the bottom, I'm actually going to curve up. And then curve up. Here in the middle, curve up. And then curve up. So you see kind of like four wings appear. So curve down, curve down, curve down. Now it's already curved down, so we'll skip it and go to the very bottom and curve up. And then curve up, and curve up. So we have these kind of four wing shapes on the left and right sides. And now just fill in those little crevices with some solid ink. For the shading, I'm just going to draw a larger orb around that center dot and then extend that graphite down a little bit down those lines that are extending from it. And then come around and add a little bit of a curved graphite line to the edge of those wing shapes. And then, of course, blending that in with a tortillon to blend that graphite out and soften it up. All right, so filling out the back information, it is day 21 of Inktober Tangles, and this is the Butria tangle. Quick and easy. So for the second version of this tangle, I'm using a white Zendala tile, and I'm drawing an X through the middle, and then I'm going to draw a third line, and I'm using a graphite pencil right now. These are just kind of guidelines. But by drawing these three lines, I have 6 pretty even pie pieces. I'm going to be using this blue Pigma Micron pen in 01, and I think it's number 36. That's the color if you're trying to match this up. So these are the same V's that we created in the first tile, and that first step of the tangle is to draw a horizontal line from one side of the V to the other side of the V. And we should have a hexagon when we get back around to where we started. Mine could probably be a little bit more even, but I'm not even going to worry about it. And then I'm adding a little dot in the middle of each of those lines, and that's kind of like our jumping off point for all the lines that we add. So now I'm curving up from one of those dots to the right and then to the left. I'm going to the end of that V, and then down. We have that little seed-like shape. And then I'm going to go ahead and do another one. And then just continue this around before I go and do the other lines. I love how like kind of that butterfly look is gone. I when I first saw the tangle, I was like, oh, we're drawing a butterfly. I like the more abstract things, so I much prefer putting this tangle into some sort of composition that kind of takes away that butterfly look. So what I'm doing is drawing 2 more curves on each side of that center dot. So right here, starting at the dot, drawing up to the left, and then drawing down to the left, and then up to the right, and down to the right. And you can match those up with the next set of lines. So you can see that's what I'm doing here, drawing down, up and then down to the left, and then up to the right and down to the right. And then when I get to the next space, I'm going to meet that same line. Okay, I'm going to come in here and draw this kind of micro curves. And I usually draw down one side, and then once I get to the bottom, I change my pen stroke, and then kind of, it's like a little flick of my wrist. I really enjoyed that little motion that I was creating. All right, and then do the same on the other side. So I'm drawing those curves down, and then once I get to the bottom, drawing them back up. And I'm going to continue to do that all the way around the Zendala tile. I've zoomed in here so you can kind of see that small little crevice. Filling that in, they're kind of like little curved diamonds now, the way that they've met there, and just filling all of those in with solid ink. Pausing and looking at this when I was doing this recording, I felt like it was giving snowflake vibes. And as much as I love the winter time because I live in a very hot and humid place, I love the cool weather. I just was not ready for snowflakes just yet. So I decided to kind of play on the butterfly look, but take it even further. And so what I ended up doing was adding a lot of kind of these growths, these little delicate little flowers coming out of that little crevice. And I'm going to talk about each one of these different tangles in here in the next little section. So I'm filling up each of these little crevices with 3 different tangles. And so it's giving more garden vibes than snowflake vibes, hopefully. Okay, so zooming in just a little bit more for you all here, starting in this crevice, drawing a curved line coming out of there, with a nice curve, and then looping back around on itself, and then doing another one of those. And what I was trying to think about the most was a variety of heights. So I didn't want all of these things to be the same height. So just think about that as you draw. And sometimes I would draw like this and just draw the curved lines and then later decide what to do with them. So this is a fescue, where you just draw a line and add a little pod to it. There's another little one. And the name of that tangle again is fescue, Fescu, I believe. And then this tangle right here is called zinger, like lemon zinger tea. I used to love that when I was a kid. Um, so you're just drawing a series of curved lines, small and then big and then smaller again. And I tried to make sure to have those zingers pointing in different directions. And so there's no kind of like set number that I did in each of these crevices with each of these tangles. I just kind of whatever worked. Um, oh, and in these kind of teardrop, kind of muka-ish tangles, I am adding a smaller little one, and that's like a highlight. So I color all the space around that, and it leaves this little white spot, which is kind of like a little sparkle, a little highlight there. So press pause, take your time, rewatch the first two examples that I did, and then fill in the remaining 4 crevices any way that you like. I thought I would pause it here so that you could kind of see my halfway mark. I haven't filled in my little teardrop flowers yet or pods yet, but I really like kind of the playfulness and the, is it a butterfly or is it, a crevice with little weeds and flowers growing out of it? Or I'm not really sure. Like you could think one thing one day and another thing another day. And I really liked kind of like that playfulness of this tile when it was all said and done. So I hope you are enjoying this, and I will see you at the next step. For the shading, I'm using this chalk pastel in indigo blue, and I think I got it in a project pack years ago from Zentangle ink. And I'm just um, kind of shading around that center point where everything intersects, and then also around the center points of each of the 6 tangles where all of those lines kind of sprout from. And then also adding some chalk on the edge of those kind of wing shapes. It's kind of the edge of that butterfly wing. I guess there's multiple wings, but this will really help kind of give them some fullness and round them out. And now, of course, using my tortillon to smooth out all that charcoal and really kind of bring it out, extend it past where I colored it. That's what's so great about these tortillons, is that they hold the color on they hold the color. So you're blending it, and then you now have chalk on your tortillon. And so you can draw with that just a little bit. And you can add a little color and kind of push it further onto the paper into the white areas. And then after further inspection, I decided I needed a little bit more, so I added some charcoal into the little crevice where all these little buds and flowers are sprouting from, and then also right there at the edge of the zingers, I'm adding just a touch of charcoal. And there we go. I think this looks really cool um, with this radial symmetry, having this tangle go around this Zendala tile. I just think it looks really cool like this. So we're day 21. Butria is the name of the tangle. I hope I'm saying that right. This is a new tangle to me, but um, wow, I just think it's so playful and lovely. And I hope you have enjoyed it as well. Again, my name is Martha, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for day 22. Have a good one.